Chick, chick, chick. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Matt Burzall here with you for Husker Hangover. Hope you had a fantastic Saturday. What a day! What a day to be from Nebraska, be from the great state, and to see everything that went on in that day. Our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers go out and handle business against the whatever they were, Huskies from Houston Christian. Like I said, I didn't even know Houston Christian had a school. That's on me. I talk sports sometimes. Should have known that. Hopefully everybody can hear me. If I have any technical issues, just shoot me here. We'll do this every week because I got to remember. But banged something against this table here as I was going through the week and just making sure the audio works because who knows. But we have handled our regular season business, our preseason business, sorry. We are on to bigger and better as Nebraska moves to the conference schedule, the conference part of the year. My big takeaways from this game is we're different than we were before. Okay, we're a different team, we're a different setup. We have some mature players, and the reason I think they have matured over this is that we have the chance to go out and play a team that we know is not as talented as we are. Oh, that helps me, John. Thank you. That we are supposed to handle. We're supposed to do these things. This is how it should look for us. We should get young guys into the game. We should be able to get our minds right, and go and just play and kick somebody's ass that you should, and then just move on. Like that's what Nebraska football should be. Rule spoke about it on McAfee this week. For those McAfee listeners out there, that's kind of what happened. And they did it, and it happened. And it's great. But now rubber's going to meet the road. Something's different. You got a different team coming in. Raiola in the game, I thought looked crisp. They obviously found something in film that they really wanted to take advantage of. We saw a lot of short controlled passing game. Everything was really humming pretty good. The only thing on the first. Oh, hold on, I'll fix this wheel. So I got a little mini cooler inside the office here where I've set this up. It was going great. The wonderful Kudrins, Tim and Carrie, they had an extra. They were changing out their wine cooler. I don't have wine in mine. But so I was like, yeah, I'll take that thing. Sounds great. And everything was going great up until about like 2-3 weeks ago. And it just started making this beeping noise like every 30 seconds. I am just deaf to it now. I don't even pay attention. But I've tried to fix it, like go on the YouTube and find the thing and do the stuff. That didn't work. So I just dealt with the beep. So yes, need a favor from you though, because this has happened in the past. I do have some perishables in there. So when we get done with the show, just remind me to plug that thing back in. Okay. I really appreciate you guys' help. Your boy's not doing good today. That was a long evening with the Crawford fight starting roughly at about midnight, I believe. But it was awesome. I mean, Bud Crawford's a bad dude. I mean, and he took one of the best fighters that. No, that isn't why they gave it to me, but Alec, it worked great before. It just did this. But Bud Crawford, it's pretty awesome. And just an Omaha dude that just goes out and beats ass. I mean, he dismantled. We were all looking for knockout. Canelo was a tough son of a bitch. But Bud Crawford did something nobody's ever done before. And it was really cool to sit and watch. And at the time when it started at midnight, I was kind of pissed. But after watching it all and having that all go down and him win, it was awesome. But again, takeaways from the game. Everything looked under control. Never out of whack. Little things, though, still have to brush up. And you probably won't have as good of opportunity to brush up against them. Maybe you're ready to take a step against a bigger batter opponent, but this is what we have right now. So first drive of the game, when you get down into the red zone, into the scoring zone, got to walk away with 7 in those instances. Like that's a killer mentality when instead of the stat or the thought process of the coach being, hey, we want to score here, it's like our goal today is touchdowns. Like we don't want to kick field goals, we don't want to punt. Give the special teams a week off, give X something to just relax about. That kill mentality when you get down into the zone. Right. We made progression. We got better from the week before. I thought some of the run lanes were good. Gunnar Gatula, did a nice job. And I was really hard on him the first week. I thought he was not very good at all. These past 2 weeks, he's stringing something together. So shout out to him for doing that. Shout out also to Coach Rayla for honing in some technique. You saw some aggression. You saw some get after it. The rest of the line, Evans, Teddy, Lutowski, Rocco, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. And it looks, they are, I'm going to say mature. Like it's a seasoned group. It's a gristled group. They're older players, which for Nebraska return to consistent like dominance and consistent winning, and we're looking at a game like Michigan, and we all kind of, if we can stay old on the offensive line, I think that's Nebraska's recipe for success. That's just what they're going to need to do. They have to have that mindset of, if we stay old here, we really get after it, we're good. And then every now and then, if you get a freak that comes in and they're much the better than some of your old guys, say, hey, sorry, old guy, you got beat out. Just the way it goes. But they're doing their thing. Emmett had some great running lanes, able to get out and get after it. Still, probably have some depth questions at running back. Rail was very consistent, very steady. Didn't put the ball in jeopardy a lot. There's going to be, he's a quarterback, and he's got a bit of a gunslinger mentality. He's going to put the ball where he thinks it needs to go. I know there'll be a couple, 2-3 throws where he thought he missed them, and it's good because that gives you a chance to evolve. Defensively, again, showed the speed that we have on defense at 3 levels. The lack of size at times, that's just going to be what it is. So we're learning how to deal with that. Linebackers, I thought, played well overall. Coverage, I thought, was great for the day. So Nebraska just evolving. Like you move on. They say your biggest TO used to always say your biggest trap game is this third game. You move the most from week 1 to week 2. Your biggest trap game is the third. Now, thankfully, that was Houston, formerly Baptist, now Christian. But those two, if you look back in history, like he's pretty spot on those. Like you kind of fall asleep for a little bit. Week 3, right before conference, it's your last, fun game where you're not going to play in your conference. So overall, I've got nothing, nothing to really bitch about in the game. Not that we get on here and bitch, we just talk about things, but coaching points that Rule will have is, and you always have to look for this, okay? When you're in this game and you're coaching this game, you got to find something to still get the guys focused back up. They will be more jacked up this week for practice now because it's Michigan. It's a name brand. It's a household item. They know what they're in for, okay? There will be an acclimation to the speed in the game for Nebraska this week because it is going to be different since he doesn't have what Michigan has, right? Akron doesn't have what Michigan has. HCU doesn't have what Michigan has. So there will be, almost if we keep it just in the boxing mantra, there will be punches in this, right? There will be jabs. There will be counter punches. Nebraska's going to have to figure some things out in the game and how they're going to combat that. Underwood, hell of a player. He's more athletic than probably any quarterback we've seen. That's always troubled Nebraska a bit in the past. Defensive coaches will have their work cut out for them. and how they handle it. The size up front of Michigan's lines, their offensive line and their defensive line are going to be something that both sides of Nebraska's offensive defense are going to have to handle. It's going to be different. But when, and I talk about the rewiring that Rule has done with their brains, right? Talk about how he's made them think of the game differently. So as they get into this, and if you get punched in the face and you have my skepticism of them getting up to respond to it is much less than it has been in the past. Okay, that's going to happen. They're going to get knocked. But I know I have a better opinion of what I think the response is going to be than what the response has been in the past. So it's not going to be. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We get out here, we got a couple of teams, we win some big games, and we do those things. But where they're at and what they need to do in this game is just handle the first flurry and then go. Okay, and then start to figure it out. Running lanes are going to be tight, so running backs, quarterbacks, if they do try to run it, they'll try to bust a spin move out again. There's film on you now, bud, so they know that's what you're going to go to. So maybe we have to go to a different tool in the box. But hey, I think collectively the state would lose its mind if Rahilla just went headlong into somebody and tried to truck them and just drove his feet and ran through them. That would be awesome to see. That's a great question. We'll get to that. I honestly, I don't know how long the show will be today because we're just going to get amped up for this and we're going to get ourselves all wound into a tizzy and see this. But I'm going to go for as long as I can today on this. But I will. Okay, just some housekeeping stuff. We do have our 30-year reunion for the 1995 team. That is Friday and Saturday. Okay, I do want to do Husker happy hour, which the first one I probably won't be able to open up the chats and stuff. If you've got questions that you'd like me to answer or assess, okay, in a Husker happy hour, it'll be on the same stuff, okay. But I will record it and I will just put it out there. Maybe I do it on Thursday. It won't always be on Thursday. I'd like to push it up closer to the game, but I want to do this because I think it just sounds like a great time. There is a chance if I get enough cocktails in me at the tailgate, there may be some live segments. Just we're throwing them in there because one of my favorite crew of jackasses is about to all get back together and have a time. So that's my goal for it. So watch out for that possibly on Thursday this week. We'll just get that out of the way. The week of Northern Iowa show may be later, or the week of Michigan State. The show may be later because I'm going to head to Northern Iowa and watch my guy Blake Anderson play football. So he's one of my favorites that I've ever got the chance to coach. It is his probably 7th senior season. He was a COVID kid, but he's done a whole bunch of that stuff. And I need to get up to UNI and see a game with his awesome family and some good friends. We're going to head up there and do that. So those are the two things. Just put those on your calendar. But same deal. I want to put some shows out. Try to be a little more active. We'll get some pregame stuff in so you can tell me I'm full of shit if they don't come true. If you tell me like, hey, that was awesome. You're spot on. But yeah, just fire questions there. If you've got questions about this game, just like we got some observation, Brian says, Cincinnati's quarterback has been tearing up since week 1. They might be better than we gave them credit for. I was in that camp from the start. I was in that camp when it all went down. I think the quarterback kid is talented. He cannot throw it all that well, but they should be able to design a very, very short controlled passing game for him to make him look good. But him running is awesome. Like him running the ball is good. So good eye on Cincinnati. I'm always in that camp. The people we play that we beat and they keep winning, it makes us look better. Nate says, I've been listening to you since you and Jay were doing a podcast together. Heck, I don't even think we were in the Big Ten. Yeah, that's a callback to the Foreman and Burr show, Nate. We haven't done that for a hot minute. With the Big Ten season and Michigan matchup looming next Saturday, what are some things you're excited and concerned about? For me, I'm excited to see what we truly are against the big boys. I'm concerned about our run fits and the D-line. Either way, I'm pumped. Yeah, okay, so confidence right now is high. There are two kinds of confidence. You have a blind confidence where you go out and you think you're winning everything. I'm going to walk out here and I'm going to win this. I don't have a lick of talent, but I believe I'm going to win this because I'm that confident / cocky. Then there's realistic confidence. And I think Rule and his staff do a good job of creating a realistic confidence in these guys and what they can do. The reason I say that is because they will preach the message of we are going to have this tuned in as best we can, right? We will be ready to go. I guarantee you Eckler has found something on special teams that he really likes and is going to want to take advantage of. He should, because those that we have had in the, or more than we have had in the past. So those things, you are correct. The defensive line does not have the size that we have possessed in the past, and that's okay. The creativity on now scheme and scheme that is executed very precisely. We can't willy-nilly run out of that. We also have to probably plan. We also probably have to plan for this. And we talked about it week 1 because we were getting shoved out of any kind of rush lane that we had. But Cincinnati was able to get us knocked off of our spot. The precision to what we have to get done in schematically on defense will be of the utmost importance. Okay. They're going to have to find a way to make sure that Michigan's monsters that they have up front, which are good players, do not just wash down. Okay. And when I say wash down, Michigan will come at you straight. They got pullers. They got a great set of schemes. They'll run some inside zone, outside zone a little bit, probably not as much. I think when they run their outside zone is when they really want to feature Underwood. I will do some more research on that because, truth be told, I've been having such a good time breaking down Nebraska's film and watching the evolution that I haven't looked at a lot of opponents in the preseason. Now we're to the regular season, as I call it, so more detailed breakdown of like what Michigan wants to accomplish. But watching them play OU, you can kind of see how they want to get after it. Now, we do not possess the same defensive lineman that Oklahoma has. We won't for a little bit. That's okay. But how we attack it and how we get after, number one, their scheme of running, meaning maybe alignment is different. You can see a lot of false pressures where linebackers are up in the line of scrimmage. Then they bail a little bit and try to use their quickness and speed to outmaneuver an offensive lineman from Michigan. Those are things that can happen. So see how Butler creates this, see what they come up with. Very excited for it. Control of the quarterback, like that's a big responsibility for me in this game. You know, we can't miss an assignment. For those that watched the Notre Dame Texas A&M game last night before the fight, there were just a couple breakdowns in just some subtle contained measures that really cost Notre Dame outside of unfortunately the young man being unable to handle the PAT snap. Felt bad for him, but hey man, it's life. You're gonna fuck shit up. You just gotta pick yourself up and move on. So they lost contain, and Weeks was able to get outside of it and get first downs and use his athleticism. If Nebraska can make sure Underwood's athleticism happens in between the tackles, I think that's good. I think they hold that game to a fourth quarter game, and then you never know what can happen because your head coach is suspended, and you've chosen not to coach. Like you've picked one. They basically told Jerome Moore, you pick which games you don't want to coach. Okay, you can pick, and he picked us. He dropped one of those right in our face. Said, "I ain't got to be there for you. I ain't got to be there for you, Nebraska. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to serve my suspension for cheating, and I don't got to be there for you." If I played at Nebraska right now, I would take that personally. I would take that very personally. I would be in my bag so much at this game, meaning I'm going to have enough film research on what you want to do. I'm going to know what time you drop your morning deuce is how prepared I'm going to be for you. Okay? Because things like that, you got to find motivational factor somewhere. You're going to be amped up because you're playing Michigan. Okay, it's at home. You're going to be lively. bunch of old guys who used to be good at football are going to be there, judgingly looking at you as you take the field. But I would be so pissed off that this guy thinks this is the game. I don't know Michigan's schedule from shit. I don't know who they play before us. I don't know who they play after us. But I'll tell you this for free. If he looked at that thing and said, I'm good there, I ain't got to be for that one, we're going to whoop their ass. When knowing there's probably a Northwestern, a Maryland, a somebody else that ain't us. But he picked us. He picked us to not be there. And Matt Rule and crew, I'm sure, are using that as motivation. You find motivation in different ways through the week. I hope they have it all week. And I hope they are so pissed off about it and they just go out and have the game of their life as we continue on this journey to build Nebraska football what we all expect it to be, but it's a slow road. It's not, you can't build it on a faulty foundation. They got to get after it, and they're doing it week by week and day by day and play by play. So I'm super excited because now as we talked about last week, in some games, I know I'm going to beat you. Okay? Now I just have to mentally go out, get that handle, get out of the way, let some young guys play. Now the first part of doubt can creep in. Okay, are we good enough or are we not? We don't know. We're gonna find out. It's huge for Hogerson and Butler this week to make sure that the confidence is high. I'll be honest, some of the swag of by the way, in that A&M game, Borkshire catching that touchdown, I didn't need that to happen. Much like the Bud fight started at midnight, I did not need a former Nebraska player who A&M bought away from us making that play to win the game. But congrats to you, buddy. Listen, you are a legend in Aggieville for the rest of your life. Get used to it. But man, that's going to be a cushy life for my guy. But back to the focus because I go on different tangents. Hogerson offense has a little swag to it, right? They seem tight and cohesive, and that will be tested the most. But they're confident in self. They're confident in what they do. And I'm pretty sure that message is like, hey, understand who we're playing, understand what we're doing here. Defensively, hey, fellas, they're going to get us. Okay? Get that in your head right now. We're going to got in this game. But can we limit damage? Okay? They got a big play. Can we bow up down by the goal line? Right? Can we get that to happen? As Walter WDB3 told me here, the RAS is +4 in turnovers. Can we get a timely play and get a turnover to happen? They may gash us for 35 yards when we make a tackle because we don't give up. We hustle the whole thing out. They may do that. But in that next play, can we focus back up, get ourselves locked back in, and can we get a turnover? Because guess what? If you ain't got it, you can't score with it. So if they do that, that's a big thing. For where Nebraska's at right now and where Michigan is at right now, if Nebraska keeps this thing to a fourth quarter, one-score game, our kryptonite, right? They keep that in that realm, and now you've created pressure, right? Now your head man, who you want to rely on, isn't there because he's told Nebraska, you ain't worth my time. Okay, so now you get him in the fourth quarter. You get some assistants that say probably have experience. They've done it. They may have been head coaches before. Guess what? You may have been a head coach before. There's a reason you ain't a head coach now. It's because you lost and you didn't lead a team to win. Because if you led the team to win, you still be a head coach somewhere. If we're just being honest with ourselves. So that's how I would attack it. You got to have a never say die attitude on defense. You can get your big old pump play, get your big play as we used to call them. Anything over 25 yards, congratulations. Defense, now we got to focus back up. We got to get the ball. We got to make a turnover. We got to get a stop. We got to force them to a field goal. Okay, if my mind gets in that mindset, and it's drilled into me all week, this is what's going to happen. Deal with it now in practice. See it in your head as we go through this, and we can figure this out. Nebraska offensively as they go through it. Yeah, man, we're swaggy. We got a QB. It's completing at a pretty good clip. We've been able to get some chunk plays running, but probably not as much as many of us would want to see. Hey, boys, up front, you tired of people talking shit about you? You tired of old heads saying you ain't got what it takes? here's the game to do it. They don't think you can, which isn't true. I think they can be effective in the run game, but I'm telling a story here. They don't think you got it. They don't believe in you. They don't feel you can do this. Guess who believes in you, bud? The 120 here, the 97 coaches we got, the 47 support staff, we do. Okay? And all you got to do is follow what you're taught. You do your technique, you do your footwork, you do your hand placement, you crisply run your routes, you get to holes. Every defense has a hole. You get in that hole in QB1, you know what we got to do? We got to zip the zips and we got to touch the touches. Okay? We got to put them on some guys and get them into some tight because those up. Running backs, you got to realize that if we get into a running situation and we are downhill, what was a hole this week is now this. So if you see this, you got to hit it and split it and get your ass up in there and get as many yards as you can. That's how I would attack. But confidence in self and knowing that you're going to have to punt, knowing that 3 and outs are going to happen. But if you flip the field, if you control the special teams, Arch, my guy, you should be fresh. Wait to kick a whole bunch. Okay? Left-footed, right-footed, whatever. Field position is of the utmost importance. If you can cough and corner that thing and you get them inside the 10, great. If you get them inside the 5, even better. We'll fly the family back over. Okay? But you have to do that. Coverage teams, no big plays. All right, coverage team of any form. Say the ball does get put in play. We're dealing with college kids. They're not going to be perfect all the time. Ball gets put in play, no returns over 15. 15 yards is the biggest return that they can have. We have to limit field position. We have to win field position. Because, again, back to the TO model that I talk about. If we can gain 10 more yards on our punt returns than we give up on their punt returns, we flip the field. And instead of that field sitting level like this, it sits like this, and we're here going downhill the whole time, you bet. Sign me up. But these things, like this is the game plan. Like this is the fun part of it. Like when you realize you weren't that good at football and you don't get to go to the next level and play, and when it ends for you, then you can take all the love and the passion and the knowledge you have and you move this into coaching. But the delivery of your message in it has to be that, where this is how it goes. Okay? We got to do these things. Like we got to cover great. We got to kick great. We're not walking a fine line like we have been in the past where we can make no mistakes, right? But we're walking a tightrope. We got room for a couple. We got room for a whole bunch. So the laser focus of practice this week, maybe just throwing it out there. Maybe we just turn the tunes down a little bit of practice. And maybe we just make sure that all messages are crystal clear and you get after it in that manner. But that's how, in this like Michigan week, how I would attack it. If I'm a coach and I'm talking to my guys, I demand extra film work, right? Find a tick or find a tell that somebody has. Everybody's got them. Everybody does. Defensive lineman, he may line up straight every time. He might tilt when they know they're going to move. It's an easy, simple giveaway. Some coaches coach it because they know they got a dude. Like, I don't give a shit if they know we're doing it. Do it. That's the way it goes. But find that. With technology, you can sort every situation. Okay, so I'm just going to offensive line because it's an easy example. Receivers is probably next best example. Then we go to defense where it's easier for the linebackers. Offensive line. What do they do when they get you in 3rd and +6? What is the pressure? Because every coordinator has a rhythm. So if I'm Butler, I break my rhythm. I break my tendency on 3rd and +6. But on 3rd and +6, they have a baby pet blitz they want to send. They're going to send it. And then they go and they may alter it. But guess what? If I have the basis of it, I can figure that out. Right? I can get that done. Now to the receivers. These little corners and safeties, they won't get in the mix. Number one, they're going to think they don't need help with you. I'll tell you that for free. Michigan secondary thinks they need no help. They're going to man you, load the box, and dare you to prove them wrong. Take that personally. Take that very personally. because we've got to figure it out. We've got to see, can you shimmy, shake, and get open? And then 15 will put it on you and then go from there. Another thing for receivers, possession of the ball is better than a couple extra yards. Okay? So once you get kind of stacked up and they start ripping at that thing, get your ass on the ground. Like, damn. Just having it is better than you fighting for a yard or two more. And I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the effort. The game plans and attitudes change weekly. Realizing the moment and you getting an extra 2, awesome. When you try to press for that next 2 and they've got you and 4 are trying to rip it out, it's not a position anybody wants to be in. Because Michigan will be taught to hold you up and then get after the ball. Okay? Or you just start yelling at the ref, blow the whistle. Just say, blow the whistle, I'm down. But, so that's how I look at the film that. For the defense, okay, I got to get in the film room more. I got to have hours and hours and hours and hours of film. Sorry, school. We're going to take a little break from you this week. Or, shit, I think all of you take online classes. Get your online classes done now. Okay? So then you don't have to go to school. My little nephew just told me he can get all his homework done on Monday, the football one at Iowa. Oh, man, I got 2 in-person classes, and then I take my online classes, and I know the whole week's worth of stuff, so I should do it on Monday. What the fuck? I'm like, you get all your homework done for one class, like your whole week of class on Monday? Yeah. Wow. Shit has really changed. Like, really, really changed. But if I'm a linebacker, I'm in there. What does the quarterback peak at? Another great thing with technology. You probably have 37 angles of film. You probably get an end zone shot at field level. Shit, the referee may be filming as much film as they got on stuff, so you can see into the helmet. But what's the offensive coordinator's pet? What's his safety blanket? What does he go to in 3rd and +6? What does he go to in 3rd and short? Find that tendency and then cheat the play. Make them run the counter. Make them play left-handed. Right? And what I mean by counter is not natural counter. But say I love to run, easy example, say I love to run a power play to the right of my formation when I'm in 3rd and 2. I'm a big old bully. I know I can shove you out of the way. Change alignment just subtly. Send a message, say, I know you're going here. And now I've created an angle where your guy can't block me. Okay? I'm just kind of hidden back here. I'm a little Trojan horse. I'm about to snipe your ass on 3rd and 2. And you're going to look dumb in front of 87,000 maniacs who want just nothing but to win. Okay? That's how I'm going to view that at the linebacker spot. Now, when I get that and I can hear them change, I just go back to normal alignment. But hey, alert, alert, Omaha, Omaha. Perfect. I got you out your game. I got you out your bag. Now I'm just going to move back to where I should have been. Now we can play. Because guess what? This is what you wanted. There's a reason you didn't want this other play. So now I'm just going to set up for that play. So this is kind of the chess stuff. It's super fun when you got guys that love football, which I think a lot of the Nebraska players do love football. And they love each other. If I'm a secondary guy, watching my film, hey, 3rd and 6, this is a route combo. This is where this route combo could switch. They switch responsibilities, so I got to be ready for that. But who do they like to go to? Quarterbacks, offensive coordinators, offensive-minded people love to show you how huge their brain is, but they also have guys that they trust. Okay, they very rarely go back to a guy that has burned them with a drop, with a wrong route, with all that stuff. So secondary guys, who's the safety blanket? And then just be in the safety blanket's way. You have to throw it to somebody else. Mr. Underwood, it's not going to this guy. Okay, that's the fun part for me of almost the demand I would have if I'm ruling staff. Say, this is what we have to do this week to get this thing going. This is how we have to prepare. This is how we have to do it. If I'm on the special teams, I have a fake. Or I have 7 fakes. Just to get juice, right? To take a chance, to set your nuts on the table and say, we're going to do this. We're faking this thing. It's going to work great. And we might score on this. I'm just letting you know. Like, and when you do things like that, and then your special teams unit guys know that could happen, then they get jacked up. Oh man. Now, in your special teams fake type stuff, here's something that everybody forgets in the special teams faking game, which I think is a valuable asset. I really do. I don't think teams fake things enough. They play scared, they play nervous, and they haven't practiced it enough. Whatever. You can always carve out. Tell your special teams unit, hey, boys, we're about to run a fake or we're about to run something like this. Watch their eyes light up. Like, coach, do we need to come out early? We won't put it on the practice schedule. We'll just be out here and we'll get through this. When you set these things up, practice the delivery of the message. Okay? Love high school football. Love high school kids. They're fun. They're awesome. You find this and don't have quite the structure at home, but when you get those guys disciplined, natural born killers. Okay? When you deliver the play to the players, you have to tell them, do not change anything about your emotion, how you go out on the field, how you walk on the field, how you talk to your teammates. This works with trick plays on offense too. It's like playing cards. Sometimes you don't watch I was pretty good. I got LASIK eye surgery so I could see across the field for all the people that hold up the boards. I could decipher plays because I'm psycho like that. But I would watch them in any transitions. Okay, so you find the special teams coach who's probably over emotional to start with because that's why they're special teams, because they create passion with them, which is great. But then you look at the delivery of the message, and they'll grab the guy they wanted to get the call in with, and that kid, he'll look at him, and then look back, and his normal little jog in to tell everybody what's going on, or when the hand signal comes in, and they all start to dab each other up, and they're like, yeah, let's do this. They get all hyped up. Nobody gets hyped up to punt. Nobody. But you get hyped up to fake punt. And so then you just kind of alert your guys like, hey, just heads up. So practice the delivery. Okay? If you got a hand signal, if you got something, work on that as well. Because you don't want to have this beautiful thing drawn up and you send the guys in and they're all jumping up and down like, oh, it's going down. We're doing this shit. So just a look inside from a coach's perspective on how I would attack this thing. Listen, man, get off my ass about the whiteboard. I got Jeff at Fine Line Painting. We're going to have this whole wall painted. I can draw all over there, okay? We just got to get his logo, and then we're going to just lay some paint over the top of it. It'll be great. I'm going to make a board over here for myself so I can look at my notes instead of looking at my notes down here. Some may say we're getting bougie in this shit. We're not, but we're trying. Those are how I would attack it as a former high school coach. So take that for what you will. The Shart says, who would you trust to act as a spy versus the Michigan QB? In the defensive setup, I don't particularly think you have to have one spy. Okay. The way that the structure of the defense falls, I think you can have multiple people always aware and watching him. Okay. And it's how Ryan Twilliger taught me to coach the 4-3 defense. Is just a push-pull setup. If that quarterback rolls this way, safety 1 goes down, safety 2 rolls to the middle. And so the opposite is true the other way. Now, where these break down, and it's how HCU scored against Nebraska, is you have to stay incredibly disciplined in the pursuit angle, right? Nebraska on the play that they scored has the play shut down, shut down well. Had a technical breakdown in tackling for him. The kid deserves all the credit in the world. It's a hell of a run. Okay, hell of a run. Well, you miss a tackle. Okay, so the guys in pursuit back here coming to make the play, they got sloppy with angle. Right? They got sloppy and they still allowed. You think it's under control. You can never think it's under control. You can only know it's under control when the whistle blows. Get sloppy in pursuit, and then the ball pops back out, and it legit, you can see on the faces. I'm not going to rat out names. Younger guy, you're getting after it. You're getting your playing time, which you should. It's awesome. I'm sure you were jacked through the roof. Okay. But you can see the oh shit moment when that cap breaks back toward him, and he's like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be outside pushing him back in here. And little buddy tries to turn around and start running, take it off, and he ain't got the jets that the running back has. And that's just fact. So unbelievable lesson to learn in that game, but that's what that game is for, to learn that lesson. I will never think he would do it again in a million years. I do not think that. But when Underwood then starts to scramble, the rest of it can't fall down. It's got to understand pursuit angle. It's still got to understand contain, even though the play is away from them, right? They have to stay in that lane. You may not make the play, but if Underwood comes back, and instead of you being in a spot where you can't take an angle to make him bounce, if you're too far upfield and he cuts under you, if you're too flat and he goes back over the top outside of you, that's what you can't have happen. So I would have a multiple spy setup where he doesn't know, but I don't think it will be as glaring as like one guy sitting in the middle of the field watching him wherever he goes. I think both safeties will be very cognizant of his location at all times. Okay. For me, if he rolls one way, we got the alley runner was what we used to call it. I'm sure it's still called that in some old school sebs. And then my guy just rolls back to the top. So coverage still has another coverage guy. That guy that rolls back to the top, though, he's got to be aware of it coming back the other way. And then he takes off and all pass responsibilities are gone. Like, sorry, corners, you're on your own, but I got to get his ass back inside so we can make a tackle. That's how I would think about running a spy setup. Dave says you're going to get DB to come down to your tailgate before the broadcast. Hey, we are working on – sorry about that. We are working on that, right? I think if we get DB to the tailgate, he just loosens up just a little bit. We're trying to help the broadcast. He's 50. He's 56 years old. He's older than dirt. One or six shots is not going to affect him. Coming down an ice luge, they're chilled to perfection. The ice luge, by the way, massive. Sister wants to come pick it up the morning of the game. So I've got to twofold on this. I've got to figure out a way to get it up. I bet that sucker's going, we may be in the 250, 300 pound range. If I'm here, no problem. I'm probably going to be in Lincoln a little bit hungover. But I'm going to try to get on a cart because I don't need my guys working at Paisans making awesome pizza. Hernia, lifting an ice block for my sister because she wants to be the life of the party. I don't need that. So if anybody's free, I guess Saturday morning as you head down to the game, I think my sister will probably get there at like 8. So if you want to just pick up a huge block of ice and put it in her car, she'll probably bitch at you about it because she didn't do it right. But whatever, just get it in the car and leave. Leave your name, I'll give you a free pizza. But yeah, no. We'll try to get DB down there. I will not force shots down Damon's throat at the tailgate. I would not want to put his job in jeopardy. John says, how much is it helping Nebraska that they have great coordinators and Rule is spending more and more time doing podcasts and staying away from the team? John, for those that are new to the show, does not care much for Matt Rule. I'm not sure. Well, I kind of have to guess why. But in modern college football, I think this is how it acts. Like Bobby Bowden, far ahead of his time in coaching. Barry Switzer, far ahead of his coaching in time. Because he's just a CEO. He's Barry Switzer, Bobby Bowden, Matt Rule. They are there to sell the vision of the program. They trust their hires to just go coach the position. So they're there for motivation. They're there for asset acquisition, both physical and monetary. And they're there to put out the word. They're the Pied Piper. As long as things continue to progress the way they're progressing, like getting better every week, I don't mind the current setup of it. I actually like some of the things Matt Rule does. Gets a little long-winded for me, which he himself has admitted. But if we can keep that message short, young people's attention span ain't that long, man. They're like 32 second TikTok videos is about as long as you can keep them. So you talk for like 2.5 minutes. That's like 4 days to them. But yes, John, I think he has great confidence in what he has. Huh. Walter says UCLA sucks and blows. Yeah, they're not doing good. That's not going well for them out there. Still holding out hope that my guy John Peterson can get his son Jack Peterson to transfer back to Nebraska. I think for his senior year, that would be fantastic. Jack's a good player. DB is not. It's not 56. We're in the same class. I'm 51. He will turn 52 here at some point in time. Dave says the way he makes it sound, he's a teetotaler. Hey Dave, you ever remember like sorry about that. Assimilate some things with Damon. So if your dad would do this, like, hey, watch this hand, watch this hand, watch this hand, they just smack you with the other one. That's Damon. That's Damon in a nutshell. Mike says, imagine Barry Switzer as a young coach today. Man. I had the chance to meet Barry Switzer. I've told this a bunch of times at a wedding. Former teammate of mine, Ben Roots. His brother married Barry Switzer's daughter. And he said, hey, big boy, he's like, you want to come down to a wedding? I was like, yeah, sure. And so went down and got to meet Coach. And every story you've ever heard about Barry Switzer, you multiply that bad boy by about 10. And then you're about halfway to the truth because it was awesome. Like this dude, it's one thing to be a legend. It's one thing to be a legend, but the other thing to know you're a legend and then just live it. Like we're talking about my guy rolled up in the chinchilla jacket at the wedding, strut. Like it was legit. It's one of the great memories of my life. Like he was doing his thing, but yeah, Coach Switzer now, where he like, let me get this straight. Okay. All the sketchy shit we used to have to do is now legal. So I'm above board. So I'm going to figure this out. I got to go extract money from the booster. Okay. Which is what it is. Then I get to go sell Oklahoma, just in the example, Oklahoma, the program, to this family. And then instead of my shady buddy 2 doors down, sliding over a briefcase and just leaving, now I'm just going to cut him a check. Yeah, sign me up as wherever Barry Switzer would be at in today's football would be a perennial power because that guy could sell ice to an Eskimo or catch a popsicle to a lady wearing white gloves in the desert. Like that dude, he would teach everybody everything. It would not be a struggle whatever old Barry Switzer was. But yeah, thank you for helping me with that. Thank you for helping me with that memory. Hey, Johnny says, Verse Stallions, listen, I will do that. If you give me a camera, right? Give me a media pass. I'll figure that out. Some people are like savants with numbers and smart things. I just like to decode your signals. Walter says, what's going on with Carter Nelson? He has 0 catches on season, buddy. I'm with you, man. Like we've got to find a way. We have to find a way to just get him incorporated in the offense. It's just, you know what, Walter? I'll give you a bit of hope and myself as well. Maybe, just maybe, again, a big maybe, we're just sandbagging this. Okay? You know you can get through the first 3. You got a secret weapon that you don't want to use a whole bunch. I'm grasping at straws here, buddy. I know. Okay? But I have to try it sometimes to justify it to myself that we're getting this like freak of a player into the scheme more. Yeah? Because he's got to be. Now, I also, if I'm Carter Nelson, I have a lot of discussions like, hey, what am I doing that doesn't work? What do I have to do to get more? What do I have to do this? That's what I'm with you. But any way they can incorporate him in the offensive scheme, I think Nebraska's offense, which has looked good against lesser opponents, I think it gets better. And it's another piece that right now Michigan has no film on anything Carter Nelson can do. So he now to them is a no factor. So now if you start to bring him in and you incorporate him, if you run him into the hole, you set him in the middle of the field. You then split him out, you get him matched up against the outside linebacker. Now he can use his athleticism. I'm in, but however they do it, I need it to happen because I want to see him progress. I want to see him be great because I'm a fan of what he does. Physically, now we haven't got the chance to see it, but that's what it is. Travis says Berger threw a kid you couldn't find bougie on a map. Ain't no lie read there, but could not, not my thing. Not my thing at all. Yeah, man. If we want to get this thing going, I'll Connor Stallions that sumbitch. Get me a ticket to the game. I'll guess binoculars. I'll just sit up there, have a whole sheet. I'd be much better at it too. You don't take all your information and you go on the sidelines and you're telling guys the signals, dummy. Michigan could still be doing this if they had any brains. Just tell the guys, hey, these are the signals. Tell you what, you can even break out a meeting session. Hey, guys, we're going to go to Assistant Coach Stallion's meeting session. And he's going to tell you. And he's like, hey, boys, guess what? Write this down. And that's just your notes. How'd you get this? Man, I studied film. And I get corresponding film shots that match up with the game film. Not that I've thought about this at all. Not that I would willingly volunteer to do this. No, volunteer might be a bad word. I'll do this for a fee. Everybody's time is money. I have no fucking clue why I'm winking today. There's part exhaustion. I'm a little bit tired. But yeah. Okay. Thanks, Brian. Don't forget to plug my beeper. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. Like I said, it's a little bit of a short one. I can continue to pummel you with speculation talk and how I would prepare for it, but I don't coach in Nebraska. So here's what I'm hoping I can get done. Thursday this week, if I can go live, I will. If not, I'll just do it I'll release it on the pod. I'll send it out on all the normal social medias that we have. For those on Twitter that are watching on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, I can't comment on that, so don't take that personal. Again, going through and finding out what's going on with the technicals. But I think everybody else is up and lively. So look out for Husker Happy Hour. It will be on the same. I'm not making more social media accounts. It will be on the same set. Okay. Try to get that out on Thursday. Worst case scenario, maybe on the drive down to Lincoln on Friday before the dinner. If you're in Lincoln and you see me, just wave, say hello. I'm so excited, if you can't tell, to get back and see the fellas and just have a weekend of stupidity. And got everything set up. I think for the most part, nobody's driving anywhere. I know my guys aren't really driving anywhere, so we will be safe. We're mature in our old grade age. But yeah, man, shout out. If you got any fun tailgates, so a couple of us will probably be walking around. Like I said, I got to go to the Sisters and do some shot luges, and I got to go over to the Diedrichs. Oh, hey, Deeds, if you're listening, I may just bring a bunch of extra friends over to your tailgate. So stock up. God damn it, I linked again. Jesus Christ. I'll get that fixed by next week. I'll self-scout my own film and say, stop fucking winking all the time. But as always, appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great Sunday. Omaha, Nebraska in general, we possess one badass boxer. And he's the king of all of it. And, man, that was surgical last night. Had so much fun watching that because everybody – I mean, I think maybe I got bad intel, but 97% of the money was on Canelo. 97%. And Bud went out and just put out on a clinic. And to watch boxing, which I watch boxing on the big prize fights, but see one fighter have another fighter so flustered that after you punch him in the face, his neck kind of snaps back, and he just has to take like a little walk. Just like, and then he just kind of walk around. What the fuck is going on? How is this happening? This isn't what you guys told me he was. And that's what I love about it. It's because they all undersold it. Undersell. Then jackass Mario Lopez, by the way, you dipshit, you're making the assumption that X amount of dollars will last you for like a long, long time in Omaha, Nebraska. Bitch, go check out some property taxes before you start running your mouth, Mario. Dimples. It's expensive as shit to live here, dude. Get it together. Then they hit you with the wheel tax. Don't ever buy a new car. Your wheel tax your ass right out of that thing. They ain't fixing no potholes either. So it's just like a more country California, dumbass. I did take offense to that. But now watching Bud be upset and bitter and chew on Canelo, it made me very happy. I did wager on that. I won some money. So I'm going to go collect in person from my folks, my neighbors down here. Because they said their boy Canelo was a done deal. And I said, well, don't count out the Omaha kid, boys. But hey, have a fantastic Sunday. Love you guys. Thank you guys. If I can do it on Friday at some point in time of the day, I will. Okay. If not, I'll probably try to pop one out on Thursday just to give you a little rundown. I think it's more valuable. It's more valuable during the season itself, the Big Ten season, because it's just we have more knowledge of it. And there's the first few, it's just speculation. If I try to do Cincy, always shout out WKRP in Cincinnati, trying to get you some run. You guys just keep winning because you make us look good. Right? So just keep winning. How about that? But yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll go over it, and I'll try to have as we get into Big Ten season, I've gotten some guests lined up, so it won't just be me rambling, but we'll get some fellows on, and they're a little bit more anxious to talk than they have been in the past because things are looking up for Nebraska, not just physically on the field and the play and the wins, but the mental's being rewired. We're getting to watch it live. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you. I will see you next week, possibly twice. Be good. Have a good Sunday. And today, go Cowboys, because I have them in the Survivor Eliminator pool. So there you go. We'll see you guys.